Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Ways Breakfast. Hashtag What Are You Saying? My name is Oluchi Omink, and of course, I'll be your host for today. Today is Thursday, and that means we're going to be diving into hot topics and trending topics that are shaping our society today. And of course, on the table, I came with the full squad. Hey, ladies, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi. Good morning.
Good morning. You all look bright, colorful, beautiful. I'm
Come
thinking of the
on.
adjectives to just
Come
add to it.
on.
Everybody's
Right.
looking so cheerful.
It's giving a pair kind of thing. There's
Yeah,
black,
yeah.
black,
So
and
the
then
purple, and the
I think
black,
I'm already
black.
missing the
Beautiful.
memo already
because
because this is all beige and
but
brown.
I mean, we're kind of
We
still,
can go together,
yeah.
right? All right. So how are we doing this morning? How's the week been? The Salah holiday and all of that?
I'm fine.
You're fine. That's so abrupt. Like,
The
full
way she
stop.
said it, like, wow.
I'm fine. No further questions. How about you, Shola? How
I
are you
think I'm in
doing?
my feelings, right?
Oh, wow.
In your
I think I'm
feelings?
just dealing with a lot in my head.
Hey, what are we
Right.
going to do about that?
I
God's
don't know, but I'm
beauty.
very sure I'll shake
Tell
it
me
off.
something different.
I'm,
Tell me
I'm
you're
okay.
joyful. You're
No,
excited.
I mean, I feel like I'm just way more busy. Like I'm too busy. I have a whole lot of referrals. So I have like a whole lot of scripts to take care of.
Take
so
care
it just
of.
it makes me be like in my head all the time. So yeah.
So he's gonna
apart
ask
from
me
that,
how
okay.
I'm doing.
How you doing, baby? Come on.
First of all, I need salad meat because I didn't get any, and it's
See, we
still
are supposed
paining
to
me
hold
to
her
date.
ransom. See her.
It
See
is
her.
still paining me till date, but I'm getting over it. All
We
right.
have a free schedule. You can stop by my house.
Okay.
On national TV,
like
ensure
this.
that you fulfill your promise. All right, so we're going to take a short break now. When we return, we'll look through the headlines across the globe. Stay with us. Welcome back, viewers. It's still Ways Breakfast. Hashtag What Are You Saying? And we're alive. Like I said before, of course, we'll be taking the headline news now. But just to remind you that you can follow us on our YouTube page, subscribe, and keep up with the latest trends that we have for you. Let's look through the major headlines for today, and we're starting with The Nation newspapers. The major headline reads, Rivers Crisis, Police Retain Control of Council Secretariat. And above that, we see that all set for Olakunle's coronation as 43rd Olubadan. Anxiety in Kano over federal court's ruling on Emir tussle, and custom generates 4.49 trillion naira in 1 year. Binated, we see alleged terrorism, Nnamdi Kanu seeks out of court settlement. We also have Fubara's appointed caretaker chairman can't access offices. And IG direct probe of killings as death toll rises to 3. APC declares state of emergency. We also have very interesting news here. It says why Tinubu flew to South Africa on chartered aircraft. And Edo PDP expels Obi, Shaibu, Ogbede, Ihama. And troops captures 35 terrorists. All right, let's look through the headlines that catches our interest. And the one that is very, very that's looking at my face right now is the Rivers Crisis, and police retains control of council secretariat. When I read through the news this morning, it was quite sad. It was had a lot of mixed emotions about it. So I'll read the full details of the story. It says the crisis in Rivers State on Tuesday worsened over the tenure of 23 local government chairmen as protesting youth loyal to the state governor dislodged no fewer than 3 chairmen who refused to vacate their offices. It says a policeman was killed at Eberi Omuma in the Omuma local government, and a whole lot of things. So to prevent a breakdown of law and order, the police on Tuesday evening announced the takeover of the 23 council secretariats. this is a very sad news. And this just makes me think about the effect of protest many times. You know, protests always have good intention. At least that's what they claim to do. We want to fight for people's right. We want to ensure that there's law and order. But when it starts going out of hand, that is where the problem is. And in this locality, they were protesting for some just cause, at least to them. But what was the resultant effect? People were killed. And right about now, I mean, they're trying to maintain law and order, and I really hope that it gets better from here.
Each time I remember the reason why cultism started and was founded in Nigeria, it was for a good cause. But right now,
I mean, see the effect.
I honestly think that youth can start thinking of better ways to be much more involved in politics beyond violent protests. What do you think?
I think it's more than the youth. In every 12, there is a Judas.
Yeah.
So not to talk of in every 10, there's like 1 or 2 person that will be rebels. So I think no matter how well people are standing to be upright and accountable and doing the right things, there'll be just 1 or 2 persons that would start to rebel. So we can't totally take them out. We'll just try to manage them.
I also feel like we should probably get better mechanisms in passing the right information. Right? In as much as we want to tell those government that, oh, okay, we don't like this, we don't like how this is functioning, or we don't like how this is working. I feel like it's important that we should find a better mechanism, because using protest, bro,
and losing lives. I think protests.
I feel like it's a lot for anybody right now. So going back to do protests, when you know that these same persons won't hear you, find an alternative.
But it feels like that's the only language our politicians, our government.
I'm sorry, but they don't understand it. They don't even understand it. That's what I'm saying.
Would have seen change.
Exactly. Strike.
They don't understand it.
Please, let's move to Guardian.
Let me take you through the Guardian as usual. Fiscal stimulus wage review add fresh uncertainty to inflation outlook. And below that, we have customs revenue surges 74%, hits 4.49 trillion naira in a year. Beside that, the family of Ataga alleges moves to powerful forces to compromise case. And beside that, we have don't set Kano on fire over chieftaincy law. NNPP wants APC. And Nnamdi Kano considers out-of-court statements. Below that, we have Fubara orders audit of council funds, advocates peace. On the left side, we have, at last, Makinde approves appointment of Ola, okay, I have to pronounce this very well. Olakolenyi as 43rd Olubadan. And then the last but not the least story, it says 95% of real sector operators at shutdown point, stakeholders won. What gets my attention is the fiscal stimulus, wage review add fresh uncertainty to inflation outlook. And if we look well at the story over the weeks now, we've been having the same thing about these wages. And the reason why I'm still talking about it is because it is a topic that is still on the heart of everybody. It's a topic that is still affecting everybody. And they said that the fiscal stimulus is to reduce, cost and incentives for, how would I put it, for essential items being imported into Nigeria.
Okay.
But they said that the official data that they are even putting out is not even correct. Like the Guardian newspaper says that the data that the government is putting out is nothing compared, like it's way higher than what is actually happening. They said, for instance, a 50 kg basket of tomatoes, which was sold for 35,000 naira in 2023, has risen to 100,000 naira at the popular Mile 12 in Lagos and 120,000 naira in some markets during the Salah festival. And the price of 50 kg bag of pepper also increased multiple folds, selling for 120,000 naira against the previous 18,000 naira in 2023. And the worst part of it is a basket of onions is now selling for 70,000 naira, up from 25,000 naira in the previous, under review. And rice now that we used to buy at 48,000 naira before now sells for 80 and 90,000 naira in different locations. So this is how bad it gets. And the worst one is Gary.
Oh no.
Gary that everybody tags.
Because
everybody tags Gary to be the poor
cheapest,
man's food
and
the cheapest food.
But
now it's selling at 4,000 naira for one paint.
We could go on and on with this.
And
let's move to the next
Welcome
paper.
to the Renewed Hope Initiative.
Right.
Please, let's proceed.
To the Vanguard newspaper.
Yes, the Vanguard newspaper, there are a lot of headlines popping up on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. Here, I'm seeing this story which says, minimum wage, why governors, others are foot dragging. And at the top corner, customs to establish stable FX rate for imports. It would be a great one if they can finally conclude on that. Yes, I'm seeing this one which says Naira depreciation makes Lagos, Abuja cheapest global cities for expatriate. It's a report. And then from the health sector, cholera outbreak. Federal government may declare emergency, says NCDCDJ, as some parts prevent children from schools. And coming from Bini, Edo, Guba Post, PDP expels Shuaibu Oshbi cities anti-party activities. And then from Rivers State, the Rivers State crisis, Fubara orders probes of local government accounts. And now reading out the story that catches my attention the most is Obaseki gives Edo CP 7 days to fish out killers of Uniben graduates. Yes, I'll be reading out these details because we'll be talking about this. I think we might have to branch about this topic, talk about this topic much later. So the detail of the story says, Edo State government has condemned the rape and murder of a graduate of the University of Benin, Uniben, Glory Adekulore, who was allegedly raped and killed in Ijowa community, Benin City, on Monday. Adekulore, age 22, was said to have been on her way home from processing her clearance when she was tortured and raped to death by yet-to-be-identified persons, and her remains dropped close to her mother's house. Obaseki, the governor of Edo State, said in a statement by the Commissioner for Communications and Orientation, Chris Inyekari, yesterday expressed shock and sadness over the incident. He noted that the governor has ordered the Commissioner of Police to fish out the perpetrators of the act in 7 days. Rape is nothing to be joked with. I feel like 7 days is too much. We need a magical one.
We're going to really dive into that topic later on today. Let's go to the international.
All right, please, let's fly because, I mean, there's a whole lot going on, right?
All right.
So, yeah, New York Times newspaper. The left side of the newspaper reads, United States Gaza appear out of service. On most days, called failure. Project could end early. And by the right side, Biden initiative on immigration shield, 500,000. United States citizen spouses. Policy intends to balance recent crackdown on asylum seekers. All right, middle of the newspaper, we have Israelis fear stronger fold to the north. Next to that, stimulus package is a political jumbo for Biden. Bottom left has Trump's bash, Mr. Good News, is facing legal peril in his own. And the last headline, which is the bottom right, states, Korean secrets to staying close, saving and plugging together. All right, that's the headline. That's all the headline for the New York Times. The headline that piqued my interest is the headline, which is at the bottom right, that says stimuli package is a political jumbo for Biden. So the quick one, the headline explains how President Biden $1.9 trillion economic stimulus package, known as the American Rescue Plan, affects his re-election campaign in both positive and negative way. So I'll just list out one negative and one positive. Now, one negative says some people blame the stimulus package for causing rapid inflation, which means the price of goods and services have increased quickly. Why the positive angle says economists note that the United States has experienced growth and job creation at a level not seen in other wealthy nations. Now, this just takes me, why this interests me is, it just takes me to the fact that each and every one of us has different opinions about a particular person when he is brilliant, right? Now, the Americans have come out to say, okay, with this his budget or with this his plan during the time he came in, this is what has happened. The price of things have skyrocketed, right? Skyrocketed. Why? So some people, it feels like, no, since when he came in with this his plan, we've been able to create more jobs for people. So let me just take you back to what's going on in the country. With Tinubu's regime, right? Do you think there are people that actually in advantage of his regime? Do you think there are people definitely? Definitely. So
Nigeria has an.
To be honest, definitely.
You
want to say something?
I was in the streets of Lagos yesterday, and then you should look out for that Vox Pop on our different social media platforms. And the lady was boldly saying that Tinubu has been the best president so far.
I mean,
we'll be posting the video on our page. Please look out for that.
I can't wait to watch that because
this is where we draw the curtains on the headline news, and we'll take a short break to return with the hot topic that we have today. Very sensitive one that you do not want to miss. Remember, you can catch us on all our social media platforms. Follow us on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel, check out all our pages, and contribute to this discussion. We'll take a short break now, and we'll return with the hot topic. Stay with us.
Nigeria, by extension, Africa, is faced with a lot of challenges.
With the growing youth population and very little engagement.
That is a ticking time bomb.
We're blessed people with a diverse culture who have a lot to say.
And yes, we are talking.
It is important we drive conversations that informs, inspires, and influences thoughts and actions.
If we say there is beauty in diversity, then let us embrace our diverse culture.
We must continue to courageously be the voice of transformation.
As we are the hope for the future,
yesterday's conversation shaped today.
What are you saying to shape your tomorrow?
We know you have a lot to say, and we are here to hear you.
Welcome back, viewers. It's still Ways Breakfast. What are you saying? And today's hot topic is quite sensitive. In fact, behind the cameras, we've been having heated conversation, and it's already tensed right here because of how sensitive this topic is. We're going to be exploring sexual trauma on campus, uncovering the causes, and crafting prevention strategies. All right, I have to take a very deep breath as I discuss this topic because I'm feeling a lot of pain in different angles. I think this particular problem is a menace in the society, and it dates far back. When you talk of rape, sexual assault, trauma, in fact, it's having different, how do I put it now, different types of it. Before, I'm sure maybe when I was growing up, I didn't really know anything like pedophilia, right? But right now, it's on the rampant. And in campuses, in our institutions, colleges, we see how this is just a terrible menace and a mess, and it's causing a lot of things. But let us really dive into what actually causes these sexual traumas or sexual assault cases across. Before we delve into this discussion, I remember seeing some things on social media, at least from last week. I've seen about three to four, rape cases or sexual assault cases. The one that really caught my attention is the one where an adult male actually raped a male or a boy. There's still the contention, whether it is a man or a boy. And then one comment shocked me. Somebody put on social media or something that, did he not see a woman? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
Did he not see a woman?
Yeah.
And that sent something to my head. Oh, okay. So a woman would have been better to be raped. But this is not to just put aside that, men should not be, we shouldn't fight for them. But what really causes this? Why is this so prevalent at this time? Even with the strategies and every campaign awareness that is being put out, yet we still see stories of rape, stories of sexual assault across our campuses. Let's discuss this. Everybody's taking a deep breath. What really causes this?
I'm thinking of where to start from because it's more of a very personal conversation for me.
Okay.
You see situations where I run a foundation that caters for children, and in a lot of cases we hear of rape, we hear of sexual assault, and just like the one that just showed now, lady putting firewood into the private part of a 12-year-old. So, as I said last week, I said there was a 7-year-old that was being assaulted by a neighbor in the house, and you can tell how far she has gone. And personally myself, I've had situations where I've been in an uncomfortable space with the opposite gender, and yes, the whole rape thing is about to happen, and I'm struggling for my life. So I don't know where to start from about the conversation, because most times people say it's what you are wearing, people say it's where you went to, people say it's what you said, you gave the green light or the blue light or whatever damn lights that they give. But it boils down to the victim never really understand what is happening until after it has happened. And that's the plain truth. Like, you would see that, okay, this thing is definitely happening to me. I'm being raped right now. I'm being assaulted right now. But that trauma will not hit you until after it has happened. Because it's cool to say I escaped. But imagine after it's being done to you, like you experienced it. You cannot say you have escaped anymore. It now becomes a story that you are either very shy to talk about, or when you talk about it, well, I always feel like on the male side, I have friends who have opened up to me saying that, oh, when I was young as a male, I was being raped by an aunt, by an uncle, and then when they spoke to their fellow men, they're like, sharp guy, you enjoyed, you did this. And he said that's being affected by this. So it's a general topic. Men, women, children, even old women, even cops. This is like, it's that bad. Where you find, there are stories about 2 years ago where dead people, like they caught a man that sleep. He's a mortician, what they call them. And he sleeps with every dead, especially old women.
That has nothing to do with like ritual or something.
It's not ritual. That's his. He called it his own fetish to sleep with dead people. So you still say that even you still die safe. You are still not safe.
And they are called necrophilias. So I think everybody with their own flaws, but there are some flaws that are starting to look like
it's not a flaw.
It's more than a flaw.
There are some flaws that feels like you need
exorcism,
not even therapy or deliverance. You need like the deepest form. Like Kiki has said, rape is not something to be joked with. And before, it used to be a conversation of what did the lady actually wear? How well is she looking? But now we now have cases of guys. So now do we start asking, what did the guy actually wear to the gym? Because I've seen a case of a guy that was raped at the gym. And he begs for the question, what did he wear to the gym? Why was his snap showing inside his gym wear? Why is his abs showing inside his gym wear? Do you understand? So it's something that, and I know that all of us on this table, we've had maybe not a rape experience, but a close to experience, maybe with a friend that we trusted, that it happens that it almost happened, and we can't forget. Even if we've forgotten a situation, we can never forget that person, right? Now imagine people it has happened to. It's happening right now in schools. Papas, fellowship papas, raping jambites or freshers, like they call them in universities. What I think we should be talking about right now is defense mechanism. As a guy, I think it's time to start with maybe matching. That's
as a guy or as a girl?
As a guy,
both gender.
But people is really more fragile that really needs defense. I don't
we
think...
We both need defense.
I think
right
it's more
now.
of the
There's something called pepper spray. There's something called, I don't know, I feel like we all need defense mechanism right now. And I think all of us need to learn a bit of karate. If not, maybe your mouth. I think Lagos has taught me to be able to switch from 0 to 100. This means you are calling me and saying this. In essence, I'm using the wrong street language for you in the right tone, in the right manner, in the right PG, in the right Yoruba word. So you should have mouse. If you don't have mouse, I may not. Egbon, stop now. You are using the Egbon as if you have the cutlass. Do you understand?
Yeah, I feel you.
And you should be able to at least, we understand that you cannot overpower a man when it comes to situations like that. You understand that you cannot overpower a man. But maybe after it happens, maybe you should do something that, I don't know, I just feel like you should do something that, because the trauma rape lives.
It's terrible.
It's.
I mean, if you go for counseling sessions or you hear of, different counseling stories of how people are still trying to get over this. It's quite amazing. I was going to say something about when she mentioned different causes of it, and she mentioned what if it's what the woman is wearing. I am of the strong opinion that anybody that says that is very inhuman.
Oh, wow.
Very inhuman for you to say that a lady's attire is the reason why she was raped.
No, but
because I know of stories. I'm going somewhere. I know of stories in universities, on campuses, where people that are very conservative in their dressing will still be harassed by lecturers.
Definitely.
They will still be harassed by people on the road, by anyone. And you know, this topic about sexual trauma or assault goes beyond the physical trauma. There's also the verbal one, of which I am a living testimony of. In secondary school, I know how one particular senior of mine, hope you're not watching me on national TV, used to actually have verbal abuses. Like, he didn't touch me, definitely, because you're going to Hellfire Straight. He didn't touch me, but the words he would say would leave some sort of scar in my head, because I'm a young girl. Why are you using all these, verbal, strong words on me? So do you understand? Now, was it anything I was wearing? Definitely not. How was our uniform? Very conservative. So when people say it is what you are wearing that is causing you to be raped, it's very inhuman.
Okay, so if I'm to rephrase it, right, it's not a strong cause. It's not the main cause, right? It's just part of those causes. That's how I see it. It's just one of those causes. Because trust me when I say that people, the way you see some people dress, the way you see,
honestly,
I don't want to have that
I want to hear your own point of view.
So are you saying the way you're looking really good, you are a subject of rape? Is that what you're saying?
I am not saying that.
Of rape, or because of the way my hands are opening, I should be raped because of that.
No,
it's not what you are saying. It looks like that's what you are saying. What about a guy that was raped?
There are some schools who feel like when you wear something like this, it's a form of seduction to the lecturers.
Naturally, women are actually very, your body is very appealing, right? So why wear all of those show me this, show me that?
In what way?
Appealing
is very, it's I don't know, it feels like we are a predator.
That's
what it sounds like.
Rather, we're just people waiting for someone to come.
Look at me.
You look beautiful. It looks... I'm trying to...
Being beautiful is not enough reason for you to tell me.
I'm trying to get the right word, to be honest. But what I'm trying to say is, men, it's easy for men to fall because they actually get down with what they see with their eyes, right? So once a man sees you and you're not looking Maria Maca's kind of style, right? And you're giving me the whole, I don't know who to call now, but you're giving me the whole whatever. It just takes a disciplined man to know that, okay, this is what, or whatever. Do you get what I mean? To be able to leave that environment or something. Because, if you know that it's easy for you to fall a prey, right? It just makes sense that you leave. But now there are people that they're not disciplined enough. There are people that they are not well educated, or do you understand what I'm saying? Seeing you now,
in a way, I
agree. Seeing you now dressed in a certain kind of way or in a certain kind of light, that might happen. So what I'm saying is, I understand that you want to dress good, you want to dress sexy and all of those things. But it just makes sense that you try as much as possible to dress well.
Do you know that
I don't see a reason why you're dressing well, you're not expecting harassment.
Okay. Dressing well in the Nigerian context is very different, especially when it comes to culture, religion. There's a lot of places where you'll be well dressed. You'll be wearing proper jeans and full top and everything. And you pass by a mosque and you, based on their own, every setting is that you are indecently dressed. So that's why when you are talking about you should have it in your mind, and it might be that for that reason, that person who is coming out of that place might feel that, because this person is indecently dressed, I shall follow this person, rape the person and kill the person.
Okay.
I'm not saying you said that, but that's almost what you are sounding like.
No, there are two different things.
Wait, I agree with God's beauty.
Hallelujah.
Now, let's take a look at that Uniben story.
All right.
She is a graduate. She went for a clearance. It felt as if the attack was on her. It's wrong to talk about the dead or talk about a rape victim. But the attack wasn't like there's a student raid, or maybe it was at the student campus, or maybe it was at the student's lodge. I think that's what they call it, student outside here. And maybe it happened to everybody. It was a situation of it happened to only her.
One person.
The focus was her. Only she was raped. And for someone to be raped to death, I don't think it's one person. I'm not trying to talk down on her, and apologies to people that
don't think it's one person. I don't understand what you mean by one.
For someone to be raped to death.
To death means other person,
other guy.
I
think we're trying to refer that it's not just
it's given like a gang rape kind of thing. Right. So, and then why will someone? We understand that some people are psychologically dead, but why would you think of raping someone to death? Right? If you are not trying to make her pay for the sin, make her pay for what she has done wrong. And like you said, maybe she's indecently dressed. Yes, we understand. It's a very sensitive topic, but we also need to pay attention to some things.
Yeah.
Yes, we can go on and on. Like I said, this story it's gone past time. People would always still claim different school of thought, indecency in dressing, how you're dressed. But there are house helps today that are getting raped. So what did they wear that caused that to happen? Let's not even dive more into that. That Uniben story catches my attention. Okay. And the fact that it's in a campus, a school setting. I want to ask, what's being done by, universities and institutions to actually reduce this menace that is pervading the campuses? How can they actually work towards ensuring that the campus becomes safer enough for people to not have these, occurrences over and over again?
It happened in Foye recently, Federal University of Ovoye Kitioso, and this time around it was a guy and a boy. We don't know the age difference, but it was a guy and a boy. Apparently, this guy in question was a comrade. Now, what can we do differently? It starts from course rep lectures, talking to the students, start from social, departmental heads, welfare this, old lectures. Tell the men the school should have a strict rule. If we should catch anybody, I think we should go back to Sharia law. I think so. On this case, if we should catch any boy or any girl raping or assaulting anybody, I think we should just cut off whatever organ that was used and not kill the person.
Have you seen?
Because I feel like right now we just send them to prison, and the next 3 months they have.
I really don't even hear of rape.
Do you know that? Wait, do you know that
rape is not 3 months?
Please let me land my case. According to the law, it is not 3 months. But this is Nigeria, where everything is compromised.
That's the problem.
And do you know it happens at correctional centers? Number one, I spoke with an ex-con before and said the number one rule in the male correctional center is no pseudonym in the state. That's how they say it. Okay. It means in the state, like they address their prison as state. We don't allow this. We don't allow guy to guy. So for them to state that, it means there's a track record of it happening. So if we should catch you as a boy raping any girl or father raping his child, please cut off that organ that was used and don't kill the man. So therefore, it was in Sharia law. If you should steal with your hand, they cut it off.
Sharia law is
it
more
will be
strict.
there forever. Okay, this man stole this day 2000 something AD. It will be there. So I think if you should start doing that, that 4-year man, you should be brought to school. That school 4 years, yes. Call student body, SUG body. Call Ikpaye and my school. The biggest lecture theater was Ikpaye. Let them come to the biggest lecture. Cut off the organ. Maybe not on stage or something. Cut off the organ. They let him
I want to talk a bit about how these things happen in school campuses.
Okay.
And I want to relate it to that Uniben lady story. I want to assume that there's a lot of instances that could have caused that. Yeah. And even cultism is part of it. Yeah. In the sense that I could ask you out and then you say no. Then I plan that the only way I'm going to teach you a lesson for saying no is by raping you to death.
It feels like that's the background story.
Yes, it looks like that. That's my own idea of what could have happened. That's one. Another case is, okay, there's a group of, we have cases like that where it's me and you were friends, you are now dating the person that I like, you are now dating the person. So I feel like the only way I can deal with you, even as a lady, is also find a group of people to rape you. It might end up in death, it might not, but that was the idea of people. But how do schools react to these things? Most of the time it's all talk, and never a solution till the story dies down. Yeah. And I've said there's one thing in Nigeria, when there's a story, everybody's talking about it. When there's a new story,
it dies down.
It dies down, and then the next thing is now rest
Remember
in peace to
University of Calabar University lecturer.
It dies down. Now I would cite, for example, where I've had a lot of people write letters to the vice chancellor of different schools reporting rape cases. imagine that your letter was to get to the vice chancellor and ends up on the desk of the person that you are reporting.
Wow.
And then comes to class and say you think that you think you can jump from being a student over to the VC to come and accuse me of this thing. I'm now going to use this reason, you know, to deal with you. And that's why you see that some people 5-10 years they're still in school till they tell them to, or then they run and leave school.
You know what? That point has opened a more interesting conversation, but we have to take it after this short break. We're still on Raise Breakfast, and this conversation is quite interesting. Remember, you can follow us on all social media platforms, join our conversation, drop your comments on what you think about how sexual traumas can be prevented in campuses and across our communities. All right, we'll take a short break now. When we return, we'll continue the conversation. Stay with us.
The fact remains, I agree with Uwa, honestly, I agree with you, that the responsibility of ensuring the protection of our children within the school system is in the hand of the parents. If the parent fails, nobody is coming for our children, the government is not coming for our children. You can see what is going on. What is the position of the Federal Ministry of Education and the institution responsible for universities in Nigeria? In the case of Ajayi Crowther University, have they issued a statement? Have they issued a statement in respect of Veritas? They've not. They are not interested. So when we keep putting our faith in the hands of people that have shown through their ways, their character, that are not interested in governance, but in their own pockets, in things that work for them. Why do we want to pretend?
Welcome back, viewers. It's still Raise Breakfast, and the hot topic for today is on sexual traumas, how to prevent and control this menace in the society. We were talking before about how universities and institutions can help control this. And then she mentioned a very interesting fact, that sometimes you want to go through protocol and report a known case, and then it ends up in the hands of someone who is going to make you go back to square zero. So what can we do about situations like that? How can we ensure that these authorities are actually helping us remain safe in our campuses and institutions?
Enough to say no to pedophile. Enough of saying no to rape. Enough of saying no to same-sex rape or anything. Now we need action. As a local government chairman, in your ward, in your council, in your state, let there be a strict rule. Not if anybody rapes this thing, let there be a rule.
But do you know that they will tag that as a jungle justice?
This is the issue. No, it's not about jungle justice if it's done by the right quarters. If it's done by the police, it's not jungle justice. If it's done by men of the armed forces. There was a time, growing up, I heard from my parents that, I'm trying to remember, there's a place in Lagos that when there's anybody that does something bad, they will bring them to that beach side. They will shoot them, firing squad in front of everybody. Do you understand? There's the shame on the family that you come from. There's the shame on the person that's either been shot dead or so. So, Bar Beach or something. Yeah, I think that's what it's called, Bar Beach. So if you should rape, first let's do parade around the place. If it's Lekki that you rape, let's do parade around Lekki.
Oh, wow.
That, okay, you raped somebody. And it should start from local government. Because local government should enforce it. State government should enforce it. School authorities, because it is, some VCs are doing it and are going away with it. School councillors should do it. School authorities should ensure that, okay, anybody found raping, a lecturer, a student, enough of students trying to get video clips and bring to social media, which is where we all get justice right
And
now.
then he dies down after a while.
School, first parade the lecturer in boxers, or maybe in unclad. First parade the lecturer all around, then hand over to the authority. And okay, on the 17th of June, there will be castration for the person that did it.
This sounds very unrealistic.
This sounds very realistic, but we need to
sound very unrealistic. That can't happen in this country that we're in.
In my side, we believe that so I apologize to your brass speakers. We send like a strong person to a strong person, right? They also say if you want to catch a monkey, you have to act like a monkey. If you want to catch a pedophile, if you want to catch a rape victim, you have to even third person. Okay, no problem. Go ahead and rape. Just like that be the last time you're using that your organ. Don't worry, use it. Rape that. Rape it. That'll be the last time you use it. Let's castrate them, male and female.
Let me say that beyond institutions, we now see that vice chancellors are being put by state governors, and that state governors might even be a rapist.
I mean,
it might also be somebody who sexually assaults men or women. And I'm saying this because you see that in politics, in organizations, for a woman to get a position or something, there's always a tendency out of 10, you see that maybe 7 times out of 10, there was you have a price to pay. So now let's assume that there are now policies that says that when you are caught raping, you are going to be paraded, and you'll be this, you'll be that. Do you think it will ever be passed? It will never be passed because there's so many policies that go against people that do like they are the chairmen of these things.
So let's
they will not allow those.
If you're saying we
policies
should
be
bring
passed.
all of these things, there's already a law already. I mean, Section 358, right, of the Criminal Code already has it. Life imprisonment for the rapist. So are you coming out with this thing? Just like she said, you are talking about creating a law in a lawless country. Sorry to say.
I
think we're taking this conversation.
We are not lawless. We are not lawless.
Yes.
But we have laws, but somehow it feels like it's not feasible. It's something that we are not following it.
It's the persons. It's the persons that they have created this law. Sure, you want it written, right? It has been created.
It has been written.
But so I will not. they can say I personally would not follow this law.
So I was going to mention something.
Okay.
The question I asked there, I think we took it so far. We took it to the community and the government laws and all. I'm talking about schools. I'm talking about campuses where this happens. Like, do they really apply the laws that affect the community in schools? Many times I feel like schools become a bit more political when rape cases come up. They try as much as possible to bury because they're trying to protect their campus and the image of the campus. So how can we...
There's something called Aluta Continua. The one that happened in 4 years, the man was paraded, or the bro rather was paraded, and he's a comrade of the school. He was paraded. We also saw the video of the pictures. I saw it, and it was posted online by I think few members of the school. And retweet. That son name forever has been tarnished. That man forever has been tarnished. That is it. Anybody caught in 4 years right now, even if you want to rape, we understand they don't think twice at the time when they want to rape. They just do it first. But they know that okay, when you are caught, they will first parade you, with slapping.
But
the police officers.
My darling, can I say something?
Okay.
Right. Yes, the perpetrator has been,
disgraced
paraded.
and all of that.
What about the victim? Like there's a stigmatization on that victim forever, and that's why sometimes a lot of people don't speak. They're like, okay, yes, they might catch this man and say, oh, you did something wrong. But every single time she wants to get a partner. Now look at the boy or the man's case. Is either people start calling him a weakling for being raped? Is it that no girl wants to date him just because they're like, you have been tampered with already? If your fellow man can do this,
just shows you.
So there's so many things that can happen that follows after being paraded as the perpetrator. The victim always ends up suffering more in a lot of cases. So I feel like the issue should be in what ways will we protect the victims more than what the perpetrators, like we can put the perpetrators to justice and all of that stuff. But how well should we allow the victims to heal properly from what they have gone through?
Before they even
just like she was about to say, support system. Because, I mean, let me not say we should create another law, because even the existing one, I don't see how we're working towards it.
This one came to my mind, quite funny, but I feel like one way we can prevent, rape causes, especially in campuses, I don't know why I'm hitting campuses a lot, because we hear of these stories a lot around institutions, is to limit physical interaction between lecturers and students. I don't know if something like just limits the access that students or female students have with male lecturers. Because many times, when a female student goes to a male lecturer's office, because you're not seeing the beauty, your head is already thinking of, how can I have this lady to myself? What if we can limit and just do a lot of online, do a lot of virtual, submission of assignments, virtual things, and probably limit? Do you think this can actually help to reduce it?
It might. But I feel like the higher chance that it won't is even bigger, because if you see that a school is supposed to have some form of interaction between the person that's teaching you and you that is learning.
Maybe in the public space, like in the classroom.
No,
but afterwards,
I'm doing my master's.
Let her finish, okay.
My master's means that I'm prioritizing a particular field. I need special interaction with somebody that is above or that is beyond, maybe a PhD holder, and that is the supervisor there. They give you supervisors for a reason. Now, I have a one-on-one interaction with my supervisor, and my supervisor is male. That is one. Now, they give me a one-on-one interaction with supervisor, and the supervisor is female, but always sleeps with females too. Where is the safety? What I'm trying to say is that there is no safety anywhere. Like, if I'm a female and I sleep with another female, I am not still safe. It's not enough to just call men. It's very easy to say a man did this. But there are cases in schools where they also caught women sleeping with other women and even men. So there's no safety. So putting that rule is like, you are also, there's a portion of people that are hiding behind that. I'm not in the general field of is man that rapes a woman. And then they now start violating both. A woman will now violate a fellow woman or a fellow man. And then nobody's going to talk about it, because men hardly speak up on those issues. Because, the kind of society that we are in would not encourage a man to speak about his rape case.
Okay, well, but we understand that we cannot totally take out this menace. It's not something that will just disappear. But we can start from one place, which is, number one, enforcing of stringent rules, both in universities, in campuses, and start from the department. But it's one step at a time, really. It's one step at a time. And I feel like we're not talking about the female sex thing, because it happens a whole lot, especially secondary school days. I went to girls' one in secondary school, and I think I can relate, like, very, very well, right? I can relate. I think I even got more exposed in secondary school, girls' secondary school, than
in the university.
Than the university, right? Because I was already playing Truth and Dare from that girls' secondary school, right? It was later I grew up and I understood, okay, Truth and Dare was supposed to be 18+ game. But we're already playing Truth and Dare as at that time, as at SS1, SS2, SS3, right? So there should be this law. Private universities, I understand that you're trying to protect the name of your schools. It happened in Veritas, it happened in some schools that you keep covering, and then probably because the student in question is the child of a popular name or so. But let's not, you will not know the pain of this until it happens to someone close to you or to yourself. My previous workspace, my friend then, my colleague called friend then, was raped by someone in our office.
Oh my God.
She sleeps at the office because of distance. So the person raped her early that morning and she didn't do anything. I wish I could strangle her for not telling me then, because I was so livid. It's something that would have beaten up this man if HR did not say anything.
Right.
Do you understand? So maybe if HR catch us beating this man, breaking bottle on his head, maybe then they will not take it up. I feel like we really do not need to take it.
So if I'm to add to what she said, I think we've just talked about the government, we've talked about the school. We've not brought it back to the basic unit. That's the family. Because the truth is, do you know why I said somehow these things are not feasible, to be honest? When you say this person should make law, the head of whatever should do this, the head of that should do that, we should not forget that it's not like a secondary school where everybody is more like
in one place.
Do you get what I mean? It's not like everybody's together. It's not like a situation where there's a principal and there are a lot of kneel down there. There are a lot of, do you get what I mean? But when it comes to university, everybody's free to do what they like. The only thing I feel like they can question you on is probably when you're going inside. They will not allow you to dress if you're not dressed properly. They will not allow you in. That's the only like law that I can actually say that I see with my eyes. Do you get what I mean? Well, when it comes to bringing it back to the family now, I think that it's very important that the mothers, the fathers do their job as parents that they are, you know, taking care of these children, making them know the right and the wrong. Because, and also, I feel like the way you train your children are very important. To be honest, like, back of my head, I'm always cracking, why is somebody a pedophile? Why is somebody raping another person? Bro, if you know you wanted this, it's easy for you to just ask, right? So somehow, like I said, it's the basic unit, so we can always link it back to the family. I feel like if there's a proper trainer, a proper explanation on what this is, what's wrong, what's right, I'm very sure by then, maybe this will be reduced and all.
All right, we have a comment on our YouTube platform by Ona Godwin. It says, thread carefully. So if I say God's beauty's dress is appealing, does that give me ground to assault her? Choose your words carefully.
You see? God's
beauty.
God's beauty. You're the one that said it.
They have come for you.
Yes, it's you
this is just reiterating the fact that rape is bad and it's bad.
Can I fight for myself?
No, don't fight for yourself. Let me just say one thing about family.
Okay.
Let me just say one thing about family. Family is very important. I agree.
Okay.
But we also have cases of fathers, you know, sleeping with mothers, brothers sleeping with their sisters, and those people end up growing up and then have no value whatsoever for life or have any value for sexual relations with anybody. So while family is also very important, family can also be part of the causes.
I agree.
You understand? So
the Lord will help us.
The Lord will help us. My final thing, because I think we have to go.
Yeah, let's continue with the
My final thing will be, as a mother, try to be a good mother. As a father, try to be a good one. I grew up in a place where there's this perspective or mentality of outsiders about us. So what my mom always tells us then, all of us, because we're more females and like one boy like that. What she constantly told we the girls was she will never allow any of us to be a second wife, because there's this attachment, like there's this perspective of others about us, right? And she will never allow us male child to marry a particular I don't want to
tribe or religion.
Not even tribe or religion. Like, there's this attachment about us in our state, right, where we come from. So she was huge. She kept on saying that, okay, I don't want to go into that. So she told the female child that will never be a second wife. And she told the male child that, okay, if you should impregnate one person, you will marry that person. That you will leave the person and go on. Yeah, or maybe as a female child, you have child for like 2, 3 fathers. It will never happen. So if, me as a mother, I'm telling my male child that you should never ever rape a girl, and I'm telling my female child that you should never rape a girl or be or just something around it, I am doing my best. When I come to PTA meeting, I expect your child to be well-grown. So we'll not exchange blows at PTA meeting. So the way I'm training my child to be a responsible citizen, please train your child to be a responsible citizen.
Exactly.
Go for second one.
There's something
I'll train your child for you.
There's something we mentioned there.
There's
something we mentioned one time like this during one of our shows about having sexual education at very, early stages. I think this is a thing with African homes. It's just prevalent. African parents do not like talking about sex and its, dynamics with their children, because they feel like I'm exposing you too quickly to these things, and they do not know what happens in school. It is very sad that some people know about all these things from their peers in school. So many times, even if they are being assaulted or there's one uncle that's touching them where they're not supposed to touch them, they don't know how to come to their parents and say, "Mommy, this person did this to me," because the mother they'll be wondering, how will my mother take this? Is she going to, there's this word we used to use when we're growing up, you have spoiled, that statement.
Even listening techniques are very hard. There are sometimes when your kid's trying to tell you something, and like everybody will say what you say and then leave. I'm busy, and probably the child was already summoned so much courage to tell you that somebody is doing something to the person, but because your mind is like, nothing like that can ever happen. You already have that conclusion that whatever the child wants to say is irrelevant to anything rape.
Yes.
So I think that's African culture.
And as we teach our children, to be aware and to avoid these things, we should also teach them. This is coming from personal experience about recognizing verbal sexual abuse, because there is verbal sexual abuse. Tell your children to always speak out or speak up when somebody says, oh, your buttocks is, you're going fat already. I see your... Please, don't say that to me. That is an abuse. Why are you talking about my breast and my bum bum? No, don't say that. When we teach these people to also know that sexual abuse is not just when I touch you, but when I say it. I remember in secondary school, anytime I think about this story, it is so traumatic. And everybody was making gestures. They were laughing at me. Oh, wow. He was literally just saying very vulgar words, and everybody was laughing. It was like I was one... Nobody touched me, of course. But it was very ridiculous. And I would say that parents should ensure that they are teaching their children all round types of sexual abuse. So what's your last word as we begin to wrap up?
Together we make Nigeria a better place. But please don't come close. When it comes to rape, be defensive as a lady. We understand you can't overpower them. As a boy, as a guy that happens to be defensive, when it happens, ensure that you speak up. And please get justice. I don't know if the policemen are not forthcoming. Get justice.
Right.
You know what?
Well, I would say that I would want to talk directly to the victims. You're not alone. Don't think that your trauma should lead you to suicide. Don't die while at it. I mean, you can get help. God is with you. You are with yourself. We are with you. Everybody is ready to talk to you. There's always a percentage of people that might not like what you have gone through or what you have said and might want to stigmatize you. But always rest with the fact that you have God, and you also have people who feel differently about rape victims. So this is
I mean, to be honest, I also feel like somehow this can also be related to the mental state of someone, right? So I remember reading a story, quick one. I remember reading a story where she came out to say her father is sleeping with her because, according to the father, right, the wife died, and the daughter is looking like the wife. So he had to start sleeping with her. I don't know, more like a mental whatever. So this is just me saying, if you have issue with your mental health, or if you feel like you're not thinking right, I think it's time for you to go see a psychiatrist or, a doctor or someone that can help you medically. So that way you don't result to being a pedophile or a rapist and all of that.
This is where we are going to draw the curtains on this conversation. Conversations like this can drag on, and we can spend 3-4 hours talking about this. And we hope that as we, engage in this discussion, even beyond this table and with our peers, we'll get the necessary help that we deserve, and the country is going to be better for it. We're not going to be having sexual traumas repeated over and over again. This is still Ways Breakfast. What are you saying? Catch you tomorrow, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Have a great day.